Have you ever looked at your dream and thought, maybe I'm not good enough for this? You start something with hope, but halfway through, your own doubts whisper, you'll fail. If that sounds like you, this story will feel like a mirror, because it's about someone who almost gave up on himself, until life taught him a lesson he'd never forget. In a quiet mountain village surrounded by clouds and whispering pines, there lived a young man named Rohan. He was a wood sculptor, talented, patient, and gentle. His small shop stood near the edge of the forest, where he spent his days carving life into lifeless wood. People often said, "Rohan, your hands create magic." But Rohan never believed them. Every time he looked at his work, he saw flaws no one else noticed. He'd say softly to himself, "It's not good enough. I'm not good enough." Rohan's doubt was like a shadow that followed him everywhere. When he sat to carve, his hands trembled. When customers praised him, he smiled, but his heart whispered, "They're just being kind." He missed opportunities because of this fear. Once, a city merchant offered to take his carvings to a big exhibition, but Rohan refused, saying, "I'm not ready yet." Weeks later, he watched another artist, less skilled but more confident, become famous through the same opportunity. At night, he'd sit by his window, watching the moonlight touch the mountains and whisper, "Maybe I was never meant to shine." His dreams didn't die all at once. They faded, like embers slowly turning cold. One morning, Rohan was walking through the forest when he saw an old tree that had been struck by lightning. Its trunk was cracked, its branches twisted, but new green leaves were sprouting from it. Rohan stood there, staring. Even after being broken, he thought, this tree didn't stop growing. Something shifted in him. That night, he took a piece of that same fallen tree and began carving again. But this time, he didn't aim for perfection. He carved with emotion, with truth. He worked for days, sleeping little, lost in flow. When he finished, the sculpture wasn't flawless, but it was powerful. A wooden figure of a broken tree with new leaves, a symbol of resilience. When villagers saw it, they were silent for a moment, and then they applauded. Some even cried. A traveler visiting the village took a photo and shared it online. Weeks later, Rohan's work spread across social media with the caption, "Even the broken can bloom again." Soon, invitations came from galleries, schools, and art shows. But the biggest change wasn't in his fame. It was in how he saw himself. He realized that the only thing that ever stopped him was his own doubt. We often wait until we feel ready before chasing our dreams. But that day never really comes. Confidence doesn't arrive before success. It grows because you dare to try. Rohan learned that perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Your journey may have cracks, your voice may shake, your steps may be small, but like that tree, you can still bloom where you were once broken. So stop doubting your light. The world needs the glow only you can give. If this story touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear, you are enough. Follow Eliza Bethell's tales for more stories that speak to your soul and help you grow. Because sometimes, one story can remind you, it's not too late to believe in yourself again.